It wasn't that long ago the Guitar Hero and Rock Band franchises dominated the video game industry in the late 2000s. By the end of that decade, there was a shift in band-centric games that became commonplace, featuring groups like the Beatles, Metallica, Aerosmith, and even Van Halen. However, by 2009, the year Guitar Hero, Van Halen was set to release, the genre's popularity was waning. Publisher Activision anticipated lower sales and made a surprising decision, which we'll explore today. Activision's first band-centric game, Guitar Hero Aerosmith 2008, was a massive success, reportedly earning Aerosmith more from the game than from any of their albums, with $25 million in revenue. This success led to other band-centric games, including Guitar Hero, Metallica, and eventually Guitar Hero Van Halen. But there was a definite question with the band Van Halen and what era and what songs would be covered. After all, they had been through a lot of changes through the years. Guitar Hero Van Halen, announced in 2009, featured the band's lineup at the time, including David Lee Roth and Wolfgang Van Halen, Eddie's son, instead of longtime bassist Michael Anthony. The game did not include songs or representations from the Sammy Hagar era, disappointing many fans. The game featured 25 Van Halen tracks from the David Lee Roth era and 19 songs from other artists influenced by Van Halen, selected by Wolfgang Van Halen, including tracks from Lenny Kravitz, Fountains of Wayne, Third Eye Blind, and Billy Idol. Wolfgang Van Halen explained on the podcast Good Game, Nice Try that the decision to exclude the Sammy Hagar era was due to internal band politics, aiming to avoid conflicts by featuring the current lineup. This decision, along with the inclusion of non-Van Halen tracks, received criticism. By 2009, the Guitar Hero franchise had seen little innovation since Guitar Hero 3. 2007, one of the best-selling video games ever. Subsequent releases added new set lists with minimal improvements. Activision released 25 different Guitar Hero SKUs in 2009 alone. Realizing the franchise's declining sales, Activision offered a free copy of Guitar Hero Van Halen to those who pre-ordered Guitar Hero 5. This indicated the company's low expectations for the game's sales, which were less than 250,000 copies worldwide, excluding the free copies. Guitar Hero. Van Halen received harsh criticism upon its release, with some calling it the laziest game in the franchise, critiquing its limited set list, lack of innovation, 19 songs that weren't Van Halen songs, and the exclusion of the Sammy Hagar era. Despite the criticisms, it remains a part of the rhythm game history of the 2000s and early 2010s. What are your thoughts on Guitar Hero Van Halen? Did you play it, and were you a fan of rhythm games during that era?